Are you tired of selling your cards on eBay, creating the listing, taking the pictures, front, back, shipping, non-paying bidders? Let the pros at Fanatics Marketplace do all of the work for you. I do. That's why I use Fanatics for my vaulting and for my selling. If you've got a bunch of unwanted inventory that you've been sitting on for days, weeks, months, years, ship it to Fanatics Marketplace and let them do all the work. Just make sure when you ship it, you use the promotional code Cajun, all capital letters, CAJUN, and tell them that Cajun Cardboard sent you, and let the pros do the rest at Fanatics Marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and I'm joined by a guest who's also in not only the great state of Louisiana, but he's right down the road. He's actually only a few miles away, one of my very good friends. It is Aaron with Double A Big Ball. He goes by Double in his world. Aaron, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, man, what an honor. So excited to do this and be a part of it. And so thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. Just to lay the foundation, and I'm going to let Aaron tell y'all who he is, but just to lay the foundation, Aaron has bought a bazillion slabs from me. Aaron is a breaker and a repacker, and I'm going to let him explain a bunch of that stuff. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Aaron and his collecting and his history and stuff like that. But Aaron and I have, been doing, well, we were friends. I closed your loan when you bought your house, when you moved.
I was just explaining that to my nephew. And he's like, well, how'd you meet that guy? And I said, it's a really interesting story. And I kind of gave him like the 30-second between Mark and closed my loan.
Yeah. It's a hilarious story. Because I think the real way that I knew who you were was because I think our mail carrier, right? The guy that brings me my mail's like, man, I see you buy a lot of basketball cards. I was like, okay, well, that worries me. But then he's like, there's another guy who buys a ton of cards. He lives, in the same zip code. And he's like, he couldn't give me your name or whatever. He said, I got to go ask him if I can give you his name. And I was like, well, good. Okay. At least we know there's some privacy. And I think he kind of put me on to you and let me know who you were.
Well, kind of what I remember. And again, the ADHD, maybe I'm like forgetting, but I remember him mentioning, not again, he kept anonymity. But talking about you, and then I went to Mark and said, hey, do you know a guy? I got my loan and this, and he's like, yeah, Brian Dennison, and you guys will have a few things in common, right? And he's a car collector, and didn't tell me like you were one of the Jordan guys, right? I show up to your office and with my wife to do the whole loan thing, and then we start talking, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. We got to have lunch.
Right. And then we had lunch, and it was like, whoa, crazy. Yeah. Right.
All right. So do this. So just kind of tell the people who you are. I've kind of blabbed on long enough and how we met and whatnot, but you're here in Baton Rouge. You're with me, but we are both in the hobby. We're both deep in the hobby, but Aaron, we swim in completely different waters. And so what's really funny, what I've found to be amusing over the last year or so since we've known each other, maybe more, hell, I don't know. I will ask you some of the dumbest questions, and you're probably thinking to yourself, this guy doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. And then you will ask me questions about, the Jordan world and 90s stuff and all that stuff. And I'm like, this guy really doesn't know what he's talking about. So we feed off each other, and we sort of help, politely educate each other on the completely different worlds that we live in the hobby. Tell people what it is you do. And just kind of give us a general background of Double A Big Ball, which I probably should do a better job of this, Aaron. I'm going to get you right there. That's Aaron. That's Aaron's brand, Double A Big Ball. That's his Instagram page. And I'll let you take it from here. I know you're on Whatnot and Fanatics Live. You take it and let the people know what they're looking for.
Yeah. So, basically, really it all started, and this will kind of go and tie into, you said, as a collector. And really it all started me breaking because of me being a collector. And listen, as you know, Brian, I'm very transparent. I got involved into breaking because I was sick of getting ripped off. I was noticing as a buyer, and then this goes into we'll get into the repacks. I was noticing, like, I get into some repacks and, I would spend, we'll just say, a lot of money, and maybe I don't hit, and I get a plastic wristband. Hey, thanks for showing up, right? And I'm like, or in the repacks, I spend $300, $400, $500 to get a repack, and I get a $20 card. Like, this is ripping people off. And and I'm like, this is, and I'm just more of a guy who likes to be fair with people. So really, I started my first show January 1st of 2023. Not really thinking, like, let's have some fun. And now we've taken over a whole office. So really, my whole channel really is about the experience. I want to provide a good, fun experience for people. Whether I'm getting killed in a break or not getting killed, people are spending their hard-earned money, right? Okay. I'm not overinflating cards. Like, when cards come out, oh my God, that monster, it's $100 card. Like, what do you know what I mean? I found that channels overvaluing all their cards. They're charging ridiculous amounts of money on the wax that they're putting up. And I just was like, man, I want to create good value for people, right?
Yeah.
I want to provide good value. And that's really how the channel started. And, so we kind of have grown and grown. And, we got 17,000 followers on Whatnot. We're really, really picking up on Fanatics. Fanatics is, we love Fanatics. And, I think that's going to be the wave of the future. They're unbelievable in their support. But that's basically how our channel started and how we really kind of want to give a good, fun experience and give the best value on anywhere.
Yeah.
It's really what we want to do. So that's really kind of how our channel operates.
So let's start with breaking. So, again, I'm ignorant, I don't break. I've bought into one break one time with a friend of mine who was doing the break, right? And so that's it. So I've got absolutely no experience in it. I think a lot of the people that watch my channel, watch this YouTube channel, subscribe and watch these videos, Aaron, are going to be, you hear two different factions in the hobby. There's the people that absolutely love it. It's the most fun. It's the best thing. It's better than buying a Panini hobby box of a product because, you only want to buy into one team. Maybe I only want to get the Yankees, or maybe I only want to get the, Kansas City Royals. Like, why the hell am I opening up a Prism hobby box when this is what I'm chasing? And it lets people scratch the itch of, opening wax, but they're doing it on a lower budget with a focused target, right? That's kind of what the purpose of breaking is, and that's why it's become so damn popular, right? If you are a big dog and you want to really rip the whole box, well, you could buy 20 of the 30 teams if you really wanted to, you know what I mean? But if you're a little guy and you only want to spend $80 or $120 or something like that, instead of buying a $2,000, hobby box, then you can just kind of pick and choose your team or pick and choose your slot, depending on how your break is organized. So, like, give the people that are watching my channel, who are probably going to be more similar to me than they are to you, sort of what's new in breaking, what makes you different than all the other breakers out there, right? Because it's a buffet. There's a million people to choose from. Why is AA Big Ball different than backyard breaks? Is the only one I've heard of. I know you could name 100. I don't pay attention, so I don't really know.
Yes. It's funny. Keith, probably what I love, the first time you came to my office, and I got to just tell this quick story, is, we had our room where we keep our product, and you were like, hey, it was Select H2 from 2022, right? Yeah. You grabbed it and you go, hey, Aaron, how much is this box? And I said, $300 is my cost. And you looked at me like, and you said, why wouldn't I just go buy the card I want? Now, absolutely, so breaking, and again, I'll get into why I think we're a little different, because there is a lot of good channels out there. But, with breaking, you kind of described one aspect of it. If you're a gambler and you want to take a risk, breaking is definitely a way to go, in the sense of, you can buy a couple teams in a break, right? You could hit a monster. You could hit absolutely nothing. Nothing, right? So there's that aspect of it too, So, and me as a buyer, I'm a gambling type of guy. I like that. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Like, I love it,
Yeah.
And, to be able to, depending on the size of the break, I mean, if I'm in for $1,000 and I have a potential of hitting a $10,000 card, oh, I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Now, the chances aren't really that good. Truthfully, from a business perspective and as a buyer, you should probably just go buy the card you want. If you want to sit on it, prospect some people, that's a smarter way to go. But, everyone's got a different flavor. Everyone's different. So, you know what I'm saying? So, as far as us and how I think we're different, and yeah, you mentioned the backyard, right? I love those guys. Jordy, Kamo, they're on the Hits channel. They're my dogs. I love those young men. The backyard is, my God, these young men all went to college together and then created this, and they're geniuses. They're absolutely geniuses. You know, now, and they provide a good show, very entertaining. They have 4 different channels. Okay. And yes, there's a million different breakers. I think where we're different than most, okay, is we're a little small operation. So to get kind of into the financial part, our margins, I keep our margins much smaller. So what does that do? It makes our value better, right? The other thing, when we make a mistake on a comp, which, as we know, comps can be daily driven and change daily, right? Because, for instance, like on our repacks, which we move a lot of, we have a floor of 40, we have a median value of 130, and we have a ceiling from anywhere from 400 up to 2,000. If something, excuse me, doesn't comp right,
yeah,
we don't just ignore it. We not only replace the card, we replace the card with something of greater value. Hey, we apologize. The other thing that separates us, and especially in the repack game, is if you have 10 or 20 repacks on the board, so to speak, in every other channel that I've ever seen, you could hit 3 Seattle teams or players. You could hit 4 Bengal players. We, in a 10 pack or a 10 box repack break that we usually do, you won't see 2 of the same team. So 10 different teams. And that's really important. And here's the other thing. And I'm just, again, I'm a transparent guy. We list our median price. Okay. People are supposed to list their median price.
So tell me, I know what the median price is, but tell me what the median price is when you're talking about repacks. So now we're talking about repacks. These are mystery packs. For those of you watching the channel, these are cards that have already been pulled from wax products. They have somehow found their way into AA Big Ball's possession. Then he puts, there's an example of a Jamar Chase, perhaps. I can't see that far.
Yeah, Jamar Chase 101.
So that might find its way into a repack. And when Aaron refers to the median price, he means if there's a 10-pack repack break that he's doing, if you add up all 10 packs and divide by 10, that's your average, your median. That is the average price. Is that fair? Average?
Yeah, the average comp price.
Yeah.
And again, comps move, and comping is very, very difficult because, and what we do is we have a packer where we're sending those cards and getting them back the next day. So it's like 3 days ago they were comped, but comps can change. So yes, you're exactly right. So if you have 10 of them, the average comp of those 10 is 130, right? Okay. So, and most people and breakers, I maybe there's someone out there, but I haven't seen them yet, where they actually list it, right? And they're supposed to. So when we do a show, I have it here, sitting here somewhere. I have a little card that says floor 40, median 130, ceiling 400 to 2,000. So I think that's one difference. I think our what makes us very different than most is our shipping time.
Yeah.
If you look on Whatnot, less than a day. We ship within 24 hours.
Yep.
Same with, we're in the top, I think 3% on Fanatics. There are breakers out there that don't ship out for a week.
Yeah.
And
that's crucial.
when you put your hard-earned money, right, and you're looking to flip cards, if you're a flipper, man, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
A big difference. I don't know what just popped up there, but that was kind of
wasn't
cool.
me.
Well, I don't know what just, I think some sort of hand signal just did it. So, okay, it liked it.
One thing that people don't know, I'm gonna tell a secret about Aaron. He is about as tech savvy as I am, but he's got really smart younger people around him that are kind of pointing and saying, "Go here, do this, click this, say this. Here's how you access this." You're way ahead of me tech-wise, but I know you got some sharp dudes around you. And tell me a little bit about your team, because it's not just you. So talk to me about everybody that's involved, behind the scenes, and who else breaks and what their names are. Just tell me generally, give me a rundown of your roster.
Yeah, so, I mean, the guy behind the scenes, and there's zero chance to get him on camera right now.
Yeah.
His name is Kyle. And Kyle is, he does all of the tech stuff, making sure the cameras are, the mics. And we have for us, relatively small channel, we run a thing called OBS, which is a whole system with graphics and all kinds of things. So, and Kyle is that guy. He's also running, finances and stuff like that for us. So he's a behind the scenes and a nuts and bolts guy. So without him, it don't run. So he's that main guy. There you go. You're seeing the studio. I didn't do anything. I mean, nothing. I mean, that's all Kyle, right? So, and again, we got a guy named Mitch. He goes by the Chicken King. He was given that name through a bunch of our buyers and a bunch of our chat. It's a long story, but it just kind of stuck. His name is Mitch. He's a nice young man. He doesn't live too far from here, and he is besides me, he's really the main breaker. We've got a couple other young kids, Rhett and Tyler, that do a lot of single shows now. So those are our guys, and we're ramping up, kind of like to try and do this 12 hours a day.
Yeah. So explain to me, just in a nutshell, 50 words or less, Whatnot and Fanatics Live. My understanding of my limited understanding of breaking is those are pretty much your two options on how to bring your breaking services to the hobby, right? So
there's Facebook, there's Facebook groups. There's, there's people on Twitch, there's people on YouTube. Again, huge company, Leighton SPORTSCARD. They have their own channel on YouTube. But the main breaking apps really are Fanatics and Whatnot. So do you want me to talk about like the difference, or?
Well, I didn't even know you could do it on. So the guys that are breaking on YouTube are not sharing their money with anybody, but they're doing all of the work, right?
Right. So they don't have a platform help supporting them, like Whatnot and Fanatics bring in buyers, right?
Yes.
So,
okay.
For instance, I'll just give you, for instance, on Facebook, we know Jerry, right, over at 225.
Sure.
He's got his own Facebook group page with 11,000 followers. He does what we call case breaks, where he puts up whatever the product is. He sends the price list on the group page, and people buy them. They pay him either via PayPal or Venmo. It could take 3 days to fill. It doesn't like he's got to go on live. He doesn't go on live until that fills. So if you have the audience like he's built, it's a great way to do it, because he's really only paying, the shipping costs and 3.5%, for goods and services on Venmo or PayPal.
Sure.
But he also doesn't have the Facebook machine like Fanatics has and Whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Okay.
experiences are very different. You know, for instance, like Facebook, YouTube, you can't play certain music because of copyright stuff. There's certain, and some people, and you have to be kind of careful with your words. Whereas if you know me at all, I'm pretty foul mouthed to have a good time. Yeah, Facebook probably not the right place for me. I'd be probably banned in about 3 seconds. So,
tell me generally the stuff that you break: baseball, basketball, football, primarily.
Primarily basketball and football.
Okay.
We do baseball from time to time, but I'm not overly knowledgeable about baseball.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny watching me break baseball. Like, oh, this guy looks cool. I mean, obviously, I know the big dogs, but yes, primarily as far as wax and new wax, it's basketball and football. In the repacks, it's all across the board.
Okay.
It can be baseball. I mean, we have a thing called the NIL, which means not in list. So it could be someone that's been undrafted. We've had big actors that sign stuff. It comes out, all kinds of, this is going to sound kind of funny, especially to maybe your buyers. Like pickleball is huge, right?
Right.
And I don't even remember the name. This dual leaf auto from pickleball came out. It was a $200 card. Like, so
Maybe.
people, right. Yeah. Exactly. I don't want to collect pickleball, but some people only care about flipping.
Yeah.
Dollar signs.
How many nights a week are y'all breaking?
We're pretty much breaking every night.
Okay.
I personally break about 3 to 4.
Okay.
But yeah, my intention is to break, 2 to 3 and have these young men just run it and have them have a huge following and, makes them more money. And so that's kind of what I want to see have happen for them.
I think a lot, the average consumer, even the people that buy into breaks, I don't think they understand. And I've seen it because I've walked in and I've showed you some video footage of your setup over there. I don't think they understand how much of a grind goes into prepping for a break, but really it's almost like closings. Like, I'm a real estate attorney. Like, we sit down at the table, we sign some papers. Aaron, that took us 15 minutes? But I don't think they understand how much has to be done to get to the table, and then what has to be done after you sign your papers at a place where you buy your house, right? It's just like that with breaking. Most of the work is not, when you hit the record button and you go live. It's before and it's after, because you got to ship all this stuff. And it's a zero-sum game. And if you ship the wrong cards to the wrong person, you're probably never going to see those cards again, and you're going to have a pretty pissed off customer. So that's why customer service is just huge, and transparency and truthfulness. And look, I don't have anybody on the channel. I usually kind of know the person, but we've got 18 months of history together, and we've done deals, many deals in the now probably 5 figures, well into the 5 figures, I would think, between us. And so I've had nothing but positive experiences with you. If you cop a card and I feel like you're full of shit, I'll tell you that. And if you think I'm full of shit, you'll tell me that. And we both respect that. And then we move along, we go have lunch, and here we are on the channel, So I think that's what might separate you. And there's a big perception in the hobby. And I'm just going to say it because, I posted a poll on my YouTube channel, and I talked to you about this, and I wanted to pick your brain about possibly doing some repacking. And just explain some stuff to me, talk me through it. And we talked through it. And on the poll, I had a lot of not so polite feedback on repacking, that it was basically the devil's work. It was the end of the hobby. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. It means you're a scammer. It means you commit fraud. And my question is, how are repacks any different than going and buying a Prism Select hobby basketball box? I mean, that's going to cost you $400. You might get $1 worth of cards. At least with repacks, there's a floor. I don't understand the perception that it's so awful. It's really just to satisfy and satiate that urge of the gambler types. I'm not really that person, but most people are, to satiate that urge and and to go buy something that's novel, inventive, different, instead of just going and buying the next Select or the next Optic or the next, Court Kings or whatever. How's it work?
Listen, and again, I don't know the exact percentage, but if you go buy, let's just use, here, I'll just show you real quick. You go buy this box right here. This is a 2023 Select Hobby Box, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That cost me $500. I bet you, if you were to say, okay, Aaron, and I've got to sell it for more than that because of fees, and I got to make a couple bucks, right? So, if I'm selling this for $650 on an app, right? Now you're paying $650 or whatever the number is, plus shipping, plus tax.
Sure.
You're into this for $700, right? I'm just using some round numbers. If you get on average 25% of your money back, you're probably doing okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm looking for. To go find that Wimby that's going to pay for this box, it's really difficult, and I think that's a big problem in the hobby. And I'll just say it is the price of the boxes aren't meeting singles prices. Okay. So obviously COVID drove that, and the manufacturers are the ones really winning, and the apps getting their percentages. Okay. And so, but in terms of repacks, listen, the reason why sometimes people feel like it's the devil's work, or because people are taking advantage of people. They really aren't keeping an honest floor.
You open all yours on the channel.
I open not only mine on the channel. Listen, I'm not going to name names, but it's one of the, and it's not the name Backyard. I watched them. This channel debuted a brand new repack, right? And we literally on the live comped every card. Lie. Like, no, this isn't, their floors weren't right. And it just, that's what gives the hobby. And here's the deal. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. Where you get into trouble is on your ceiling card. Cause out of 10 repacks, I guarantee a ceiling. And my floor, yes, the ceiling is important, but what I feel is even more important is a floor value, because someone wants to know, well, how bad can I get crushed, right?
Yeah.
My repacks are $195. I told you my values. And I have literally, which I've never seen other people do, is a floor card comes out, right? And I look at it, I'm like, man, that's not, I'll comp it right on the screen.
Yeah.
And go, you know what? Buyer X, we messed up. So not only are you getting this card right here, I'll grab them another repack. This is on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's how it's got to be. That's how it all started.
Like this perception that repacking is killing the hobby or causing problems. It's putting more money into commerce in the hobby, which I think is a good thing. And maybe I'm naive because I'm not an expert, but you don't get a floor. I mean, at least you get a floor when you buy a repack, and at least you get a median from some repackers, right? Panini doesn't give you a floor. That $500 select box quite possibly could have, I'm not exaggerating, $12, $15 worth of cards in it. Maybe it could be awful. And then the median could be $70 to $45. I don't freaking know. I have no idea. I mean, I've run polls on my channel before, and I asked the question, Aaron, if you bought a box, if you buy an average wax hobby box of a sports card, pick a sport, doesn't even matter. What are the odds that you actually get your money back? And I think the overwhelming response was like 5%, 1 in 20 chance to get your money back.
I don't think they're wrong. I don't think they're wrong.
Yeah.
And so now with repacks, it's very like, now again, I put repacks with like one hobby box. That's kind of like my break, right? And the people that come and buy it, when I just do wax, at least in my channel, people are like, where are the repacks?
Yeah.
Because they know what they're getting.
Yeah.
And again, and I understand how my repacks were, even the concept of them was because I was that buyer getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Ripped off. And I'm like, this is BS. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with making money, but you're ripping people off.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Yeah. Well, everything stays on camera, everything in all of your repacks you see. So if you say there's a chase card, there is or there isn't. I mean, you're opening every single one of the repacks on your channel.
Right.
I guess the concern would be is if you did repacks and you kind of shipped them, and then, you know, if 100 people bought in, you know, only one person's going to know what was in their pack, and then other 99 people aren't going to know what was in the other 99 packs. And so you may or may not have put that chase card in there. That's the issue. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have. Yeah,
Sure.
you know, some people think that breakers are the reason that wax prices have not come down, Aaron. They think if breaking didn't exist, then you know, consumers would be the only you know, end user buyers of these hobby boxes, and they wouldn't sell out, and we wouldn't have this issue. So, but I think it's almost like a catch-22. It's like a double-edged sword. There's really no way to, you know, I mean, you can't.
Would single prices be to where they are potentially? And it is a catch-22. You know,
Yeah.
listen, it's just almost like anything. There's positives and negatives to. You can look at either side here, and I think the one thing I think about the hobby right now is there's something for everyone, right?
That's for sure.
And that's a real positive, you know. And another thing, like with Fanatics, like one of the things that I believe in Fanatics is, you know, they're about to have, you know, Fanatics Collect. I think they're going to do everything the right way. That's why they're slow rolling. They're putting a lot of time, energy, and money into doing it the right way. I really believe that. I mean, even Whatnot I've seen over the last couple of months has really done some different things to try and help the hobby be cleaner, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, there's a flavor for everyone, and you know, live breaking may not be for some people. It's like for you, why would you buy that $300 box? Just go buy the card.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm, you know, you know what it stems from? It's the same reason I don't walk into a casino. I was just telling my wife, we were sitting at the dinner table with my kids, and we're all sitting around, and somebody brought up casino, and then one of my younger kids is like, "Dad, have you ever been to a casino?" I'm like, "Well, yes, I've been to a casino." There's lots of reasons to go to casino. You know, even the nice one here in Baton Rouge, you go to dinner, you can go see a show, whatever. And they're like, "Do you gamble?" I was like, "Have I gambled? Yes. I spent 48 hours in Vegas one time for a bachelor party, and I gambled." But for me, as a human being, the feeling of losing far, far, far exceeds the positive feeling of winning, right? All I remember are my losses. And I don't know if that's just the way I'm wired or what, but that's that reason.
I am the polar opposite of you. So, like, and I'm look at what you could win.
Look at what you could win. Yeah. You go to the casino 12 times, you win once, you talk about that one time. You're 100%. That dude. Yes, you're that dude.
100%. Like, listen, I definitely, and I am a gambler. So,
yeah.
And I can admit now, like, I definitely have lost more than I've won. But man, I don't think about those losses, man. How about that machine I just hit? Or, you know, I had this is a great, it just crossed my mind. My childhood best friend's dad, when he would hear we would go to Vegas, we're going to Vegas, he says, "I have a suggestion for you. Take your money, put it in a brown paper bag, go drive to the casino, throw it into the casino and leave, because you might as well just do that." And you know what my response was? I'm like, "Hey, Neil, but that gives you no chance to win."
Yeah, that's right. I lost my chance.
I lost my chance. He's like, "Well, you're not going to win anyways." So, like, but that's his thinking too. And again, you know, there's a flavor for everyone. You know, so whatever kind of scratches that itch for you.
That's right. I've got friends who, like, literally a lot of my friends that collect MJ with me, they just they've never bought a wax. They don't buy wax at all. Now I have a little bit of Aaron in me. I have a little bit of that gambler gene in me. So every once in a while I'll go pick a product that's somewhat affordable and I'll go buy it. And I ain't buying National Treasures. I'm not buying Immaculate, Flawless, and all that stuff. But I'll go mess around a little bit with a box here and there. I'll go to our guy Jerry, you know, over here in town, or Anthony, and kind of help support the local card shop and buy a box or two.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will buy a case of soccer, because that's really affordable compared to the normal place where I dwell, you know, in 90s basketball.
Very true.
Every time, it never fails. I have the worst luck, and it is always a great, you know, affordable reminder that I do not need to be buying wax products. It's never going to work out. What about this? Are wax prices ever going to come down? And if so, how and why?
That is such a good question. And I would be, I think, extremely rich if I knew the guaranteed answer. This is more of a personal opinion. I think a lot has to do with what happens between Panini and Fanatics.
Yeah.
I really do. You know, what we are seeing, you know, at the end of 21, beginning of 22, card prices, singles went tanking coming out of COVID,
Big time.
right?
Yep.
Now they're kind of coming back up.
That's
right?
correct.
Do I ever think they'll get back to that COVID pricing on both ends? On the wax price, you know, you could buy an NT box for $500. You couldn't even you can't even sniff a card out of there for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So my personal opinion is it's kind of still up in the air. Is I think it depends on what happens with Fanatics and Panini. And maybe this is just the optimistic part of me is in seeing and dealing with Fanatics from on the live breaking side. I think they're going to meet in the middle somewhere. I think when Fanatics owns everything, and I think they'll eventually, you know, they're going to be the premier place to probably break for live breaking. Yeah. I think they're going to eventually, you know, my hope is that they buy Panini America, or at least take over those products, you know, and they'll get them priced better. That's my hope, you know.
My hope is this is one reason why this is what gives me concern about the hobby moving forward. And I've talked about it on the channel and elsewhere, is that I just think there's too many meaningless cards in the hobby right now.
That's another thing is,
you know, I don't know how this would affect the hobby if, you know, Fanatics came out and said, you know what, for basketball, we're releasing 6 products the whole year. We're going to release 1 product every other month. That's it. And we're going to give you, you know how you have a floor in repacks? Well, how about this, Fanatics? Why don't you tell us exactly how many base cards were printed? Right? How many non-serial numbered silvers were printed? Why don't you just be completely transparent and tell us, because we're big kids, you know, we're big people, we're big boys, we're adults. We can do the math. And I think that the reason they don't want us to know that is because we wouldn't buy it, or at least we wouldn't buy it for that price. If Panini told the hobby, hey, you know, after 2018 Prism released, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you, we printed 165,000 Luka Doncic base cards, or 400,000, or whatever the freaking number is. That would be kind of a problem, because I don't think people could necessarily process out at first. And if they did, and if the intelligent people put pen to paper, they'd be like, you know what, maybe I'm overpaying, you know, for these cards, where I thought there was going to be, you know, maybe 800 silver Doncic rookie cards. But as it turns out, you know, there's 5,000 Doncic rookie cards. Well, that's not exactly, that doesn't make any sense for me to buy this box for this price. Or maybe they go back to the 90s, and then, you know, you've got these serial numbered cards, so there's this false sense of scarcity. But maybe they go back to the 90s and say, well, here's the pack odds. You know, this is, I mean, you can serial number whatever the hell you want. What I care about is pack odds. My odds of pulling this, you know, orange serial numbered to 49 Prism Wembanyama is 1 in 617,000 packs. That's important information. I think I need to know that. That means more to me than serial numbered to 49, because I don't know how many packs you made.
Well, yeah, like for instance, you know, it's still very unclear if the 2018 Black Finite Luka has been hit or is still even out there, right? You don't think that they don't know, because there's barcodes and things like that, that they don't know where that card maybe necessarily is, or if it's still, you know, has the box been purchased? Yeah. Exactly. I think one of the other problems too here, and again, you know, I'm just being truthful, and I hate to call out, you know, Panini, but for instance, Donruss Optic football hobby, right? Donruss Optic football. That is one of the biggest releases, because you're searching for downtowns, things like that. They have kept pushing back the release of the hobby box. But what they've been doing is putting out tons of retail for the last 2 months. So what does that do? When hobby comes out, it brings the values down. Also, I think the other big issue is in a box like this, they're adding so many more parallels. And it's
Yes.
I can't even keep up. Like
Raccoon
what the hell is
skin.
this parallel? I've never seen this.
Goat leather. Yeah, like enough. I've got enough stripes. Now I don't just have tiger stripes. I have choice tiger stripes, and I have zebra stripes, and I have, monkey skin and raccoon butt. And I'm just like, dude, we've gone through all the colors. We got to start putting animal prints on here,
Exactly. It's just they're oversaturating. And listen, I think that, and this is the only thing I'll ever say about politics. It's kind of like whether you're left or right, I don't care. I think, can the left come a little left or a little right? Can the right come a little left?
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the hobby. Hey guys, like how can we all come together to figure out how everyone can make money?
Yeah.
And including the buyers, and have it be not so much a risk. And that's my whole idea of my channel. It's like, man, I don't need to make as much money as X channel. I can still make money and create good value. Not, like, guys, that'll make the hobby better.
Long term.
People want it long term. Exactly.
Yeah. Aaron, tell me, all right, enough about breaking, enough about AA big ball. Tell me about Aaron. I want to know your cards, your collection. Tell me about, and I've never really talked much with you about this. Tell me about your personal collection, what you do, what you don't collect, what you have, what you don't, where you're going.
Well, the truth is, when I first started, I was not like you. I wasn't attached to any piece of cardboard. I'm still not.
When was that?
2021 is when I started, really.
Okay.
So I'm still fairly new, compared to, I hate to use the word, old timers like yourself, been around for a long time. Yeah, right.
OGs. Yeah.
OGs. Yeah. We'll say OGs, right? So, I wasn't attached to any cardboard. So I was prospecting a lot, the Cade Cunninghams, the Scotty Barnes, things like that. But once I started breaking and I created the repack, all my stuff basically went into repacks. I used my collection for that. Now, if I were to now, I've got half a dozen Brett Favres because I'm a huge Brett Favre nut that I have. And boy, I can't believe I'm going to admit this on camera, and it's the silliest thing ever. I'm always been a big fan of WWE. Just like it's like my inner child, and I did some work with them anyways, and in a former career that I had, and so there's a guy there that I collect some cards with, a guy named Roman Reigns, and I just love enjoying open that.
And that's got to be affordable. I would think that would be relatively
it's certainly
affordable.
much more affordable than
baseball, basketball, football.
Yeah, for sure. But my collection, everything now, when we buy on eBay or we go to card shops or we go to card shows, is really buying for these repacks.
Inventory.
And that's the truth.
No, I got to fix that. We got to fix that. That's going to be fixed. Yeah, we're going to spend some time together. I'm going to get you to fall in love. It doesn't have to be Jordan. There's a million directions you can go. There's a million different, depending on your budget, how much you want to give it. But we got to get you onto some kind of set chase or some kind of player collecting or something.
Well, I did that with the WWE. And I mean, it's funny because and again, I'll admit it, and I'm going to catch a lot of BS for some of my buddies and they give it to me all the time. But I probably have the largest 2023 select Roman Reigns PSA 10 collection that you can find. And it's actually it's in PWCC Vault, which will be Fanatics Collect.
I did not have that on my bingo card today.
You did not. And I wasn't going to admit it, but I'm honest, like it is what it is. And people are getting on your Django. let's see, Jordan, Roman Reigns. Really, wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Well, I didn't know you vault. I mean, we never even really talked about this. I'm an affiliate partner with PWCC or Fanatics, whatever you want to call them. I didn't even know you vaulted with them at all. Okay.
It's just recent. You know what? It's funny because I was like, I'd collected all this, I'd bought them, and I'm like, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Well, all of it's silly. What are you talking about? I mean,
so I talked to Nate, and I'm like, dude, I've got this huge collection. Like, I'm gonna send it all to you.
Yeah.
Like 70 slabs.
Yeah.
And from just this one year in product, like I'm timing it because that particular wrestler is coming back, and he's like it. Like this, and I'm probably going to move it so I can go do probably what you're talking. Go do something smart.
Yeah.
I'm not no. Sometimes like my dad goes, God, I love you, but it's like going to the casino. Like, just. But it is what it is. I have fun, and that's the main thing, man.
Y'all have an eBay store. You have an eBay store as well, right?
We do. We're not really moving too much eBay stuff anymore because, again, everything is going into our collection. Or what we're really getting into is single shows, whether it be a dollar card.
Tell me more about that. Explain that to me, like to the people that are listening, what a single show is. So talk me from the very, very beginning. What does that mean? And we'll kill it after this.
For instance, for the people that can't afford to get into a break that's going to cost them $30-$40 a team, so to speak, they can come, right? We got all these cards, right? And let's say they want this Jalen Hurts thing, right?
Yeah.
And they want a particular, and they don't want to go spend $30. They're going to go pay $1 for this. So it's more kind of like around your thinking. Like, I don't really want to break. I want to just be able to go get cards, right?
So it's a short-term live auction on Whatnot,
Fanatics, mainly, and again, we're kind of mainly transitioning over full-time to Fanatics. Nothing against Whatnot. We just feel that that's going to be the future and kind of where we want to be. Whatnot has been great to us, but wherever, we're doing singles, again, someone like this is that Jamar I showed you.
You just pop a card on the screen and then start a clock, and then whoever's in the room bid.
$1. Some cards go for that 50-cent card that I just showed you, Jalen Hurts. Someone may buy that for $1 or $2 because they really want it. Again, here's a Jordan I got from you. It's a $25 Jordan, right?
Yep.
I could put that up, and who knows who I have in the room. So this, again, they may want this for the set, or whatever, and they're going to pay $50 for that.
Yeah.
It may go for 14. So it's kind of in the middle of your world. Like, hey, let me just go buy the exact card I want, and breaking. So it's kind of in the middle.
I like that.
A good way.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I like that. idea. Well, man, thank you for joining today. One last thing. We didn't talk about Cleveland. Tell me your plans for Cleveland. And again, let me pull this up on the screen. I got to get better at this, Aaron. Hang on. If y'all are looking to go follow Aaron and Double A Big Ball. Okay, so this is one thing I want to tell you. I've got a problem with this, and let me tell you what it is, Aaron. So I am a very OCD person. In your name on Fanatics Live, double is capitalized, capital D. A is capital A, ball is capital B, but the big is a lowercase b. I can't have that. I can't process it. I can't tolerate it. I can't deal with it. Can we fix it? I'm dying here.
You die. What's funny is, okay, so my ADD brain, right? And I don't know why. That's just how I did it from the get-go. Is it necessarily right? I'm going to bet you probably $1 million it's wrong, right?
Yeah.
What's new? So, I mean, I don't know, man.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So in Cleveland, you're going to be up there. I'm going to be up there Tuesday through Saturday night. I fly out Sunday, so pretty much Tuesday afternoon through Saturday. And people ask me, like, why are you in there Tuesday? I'm like, man, I just want to get up there and get settled, go to the hotel, kind of understand the layout. I want to get a workout in. I want to eat, relatively healthy the first night, because after that, all hell is going to break loose as far as food goes, quite likely. And just get settled so I can hit the ground running on Wednesday. You're going to be there, you said.
I'm coming late night Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Originally I was planning on Thursday, but I'm coming late night Wednesday. The rest of my team is coming Thursday. To be very transparent, I'm hoping to play a round of golf with a couple people on Thursday morning. But kind of the same idea. Let me get my badges. Let me get kind of settled.
Yeah.
I've never been to the National.
Really? Okay.
The National. Yeah. I have never been. I was supposed to go the last 2 years. Really I'm going to maybe to procure stuff for our repacks and really just to shake hands.
If you're looking for inventory for repacks and stuff, you're gonna have your pick of litter. Let me tell you, there's so many dollar boxes. There's so many, slab, $5 slab boxes. And that's one thing. That's one reason why this year I wanted to do it all, because I want to sit down in a chair because my knees and back are going to be killing me. But I want to sit down in a chair, Aaron, and I want to flip through all those boxes. I never had time. When I went to Atlantic City and I went to Chicago and Rosemont, and both times I just did not have enough time to do any of the low budget stuff that I can't wait.
That's why Mitch is coming. He's going to be going through that.
Yes.
Combing through those boxes, and really for us, it's, we potentially have something maybe brewing with Fanatics. We'll see. But we want, I want to go shake hands and meet people. And I know a lot of my buyers, my people that come in and hang out in the chat, they're going to be there. I just want to say hi. And
you've been to Dallas? You've been to Dallas show?
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, did you hear what just happened with Dallas?
Yes, I did, man. And I'm sorry to hear it and see it. Yes. I can't believe it. How could they not catch those dudes? By the time people watch this is going to air next week. So this will air the week of whatever that is, the 16th. Hopefully they will have caught the people. They got the people's faces on video. How could you not catch them?
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
You got $1 million worth of cards.
Yeah.
How are you not sitting on that box? How are you? And again, nothing against those people. I feel terribly for them.
There's a lot going on, dude. I'll be the first one to say I've had panic situations where I'll be carrying let's just say a large volume, and I'm about to do it again in Cleveland. Nobody mug me, but I'm about to have a very valuable, group of cards in a little Zion case. There's a lot of stuff, for lack of a better word, going on there. You can get distracted. You could be doing a deal here. You take out the 3 cards you're talking to the dealer about. You and the dealer are talking, and then right over your left shoulder, somebody could bump into you on this side. Somebody snatches it. It was orchestrated. It was a team.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, man, dude, how do people not? They got to catch these guys. I mean, we got their face. It
was terrible for them. I mean, that is terrible. But
hopefully by the time this airs, they will have been apprehended. That's like big time felony. Like they're literally they ain't gonna fall for that.
$1,000 bounty if you know or know who these people are. Which I don't blame them. I mean, this is terrible. Terrible.
I think they'll be caught by the time people watch this video. So this is much ado about nothing.
I hope so. But yeah, that's what we're gonna kind of do. Is really I just want to smooth. Grab some inventory and really just say hi to people and see what other opportunities are there for us, And again, the last thing I'll say, the biggest challenge we have as a channel, because we are on the smaller side, is product acquisition at the right pricing, So trying to go there, find the right product at the right price, is key for us because that helps us with our margins, obviously.
Guys, if anybody watching, guys and gals, if anybody watching this video has access to wax at an affordable price, and I know Aaron's even mentioned getting into older wax. It doesn't have to be like brand new stuff. You actually, and we've talked about this a little bit of getting me involved, but even going back into earlier years, maybe early 2000s, mid 2000s, even into the 90s, if anybody's got any access to hobby wax like that Aaron would, be able to acquire, reach out to him. He's easy to find on Instagram. Just message him. It's AA Big Ball. There's no capital letters in your Instagram, again, for whatever reason. AA Big Ball. Go find him on Instagram and hit him up, man, because he's always looking to buy, and I'd be happy to help. Hopefully, I can put you in touch with somebody who's maybe got some discounted wax out there, if that even exists. I don't even know.
But you have. I mean, your boy up in the Northeast.
Trying.
Yeah, no, we definitely have. So, for sure. But yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool, Aaron. Thanks for joining the show. This won't be the last time. We'll do it again, and we'll figure out a way. I've come on your show, by the way, guys. I don't know what I'm doing with breaking, but Aaron's had me come on the show like a newborn deer that can barely walk.
It was amazing.
Like, here, host this break this box, and of course, I'm doing everything wrong. I'm taking the cards off the camera. It looks like I'm stealing the select choice donkey skin, Chet Holmgren. I don't know what I'm doing, but Aaron kind of guided me through it. It was a pretty exhilarating experience, and it's a very exciting atmosphere to walk into your office on the night y'all are doing breaks. I mean, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to watch.
We try and have fun, man. That's the main thing is to have fun, and we hope that listen. I wish I packed the boxes, the wax, and because everyone would win. But yes, for sure, and it won't be the last time.
Yeah, we're doing it again. We'll do it again. All right, man. Thank you for joining.
Hey,
guys, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Have fun and be safe at the National. I'll see you guys up there.
Hey, thanks.